The disastrous events that occur through another aren't caused by any curse or calamity, they are defined by the characters as a phenomenon. This phenomenon occurs when the class roster of third-year Class 3 goes up by 1. When that happens, at least one person each month dies until graduation. The disasters start to happen during the month of April, and when they start, they don't stop. This phenomenon is caused by an extra student who shouldn't be there in the class. This extra student is known as the causality. The causality is a person who died in the past disasters and had come back from the dead to join Class 3. When a causality infiltrates the class, it is guaranteed that at least one person will die every month. The rules for the phenomenon. The phenomenon always starts in April. The phenomenon only occurs when the class roster goes up by 1. When the phenomenon starts, at least one person will die each month. The phenomenon almost ever ends partway through. The causality is someone who is already dead, and their death was the result of the disasters from the phenomenon. They could be anybody, but they have to have had a connection to Class 3. Meaning they had to be a student, head/assistant teacher, a member of the family who died before they made it to their third year. The phenomenon only affects the students' teachers of Class 3 and their families within 2 degrees, which includes parents, grandparents, and siblings. This does not include aunts, uncles, cousins, step-parents, and step-siblings. The phenomenon's range is only limited to Yomayama. You could leave the city to protect yourself, but it only works if you can make it out the city alive. Since the casualty is dead but have been brought back to the living world, all memories and records of their existence of their life before they died get erased or altered. This results in no one remembering that they have died. This also affects the casualty as well. After graduation, the casualty will disappear and all records and memories will go back to the way they were when they first died. In other words, no one will remember who the casualty was because originally they weren't a student of the present year, they were students who have died in the past. The phenomenon can only stop partway when the casualty is sent back to death. How the phenomenon came to be. The phenomenon started during the year of 1972 when a popular student by the name of Misaki suddenly died. The entire student body and faculty loved Misaki, but Class 3 took it the worst. They didn't want to accept the fact that their most popular classmate has passed on. So they didn't accept it. The students of Class 3 pretended that Misaki was still alive. They even saved a seat for Misaki at graduation. But when they took their class photo, the class was shocked to see Misaki standing with the class smiling like everyone else. The class didn't realize that they welcomed death into their classroom. Important facts to know about Class 3 1972. Koichi's mom, Ritsuko, was in Class 3. Mr. Shibakai was the head teacher. Who was Misaki? In the anime, it was never clear if Misaki was a boy or a girl. In the novel, it was confirmed that Misaki was in fact a boy. His full name was Misaki Yomayama. Misaki died in May of 1972 in a house fire. His entire family died, including his little brother, who was 1 year younger. The phenomenon of 1973. In the Class 3 of 1973, everything was normal until they realized that they didn't have enough desks for the students. The class roster matched the number of desks in the class, but the students didn't, thinking that it was just an error in the paperwork. The class just shrugged it off and added another desk. In April, people with a connection to Class 3 started to die. No one realized that it was because it was the actions of the class before them. They just thought that the disasters were just unfortunate events. Important facts about Class 3 1973. Mr. Shibakai was the head teacher. The casualty that year was Misaki's little brother. He died before he could enter his third year of middle school. Important facts about the rest of the story. Koichi's mother's full name is Ritsuko Mikami. Mei Misakai's real name is Mei Fujioka. When Reiko, Koichi's aunt, was in Class 3 of 1983, Ritsuko, Koichi's mom, died. Mr. Shibakai was the head teacher of Class 3 from 1972 to 1976. After that, he took the job as the librarian of the secondary library. Mai's cousin, Misaki, died in April of 1996. This started the phenomenon for that year. Koichi's grandparents named their bird Rei after their daughter. The Nomatas, the caretakers for the Sakatini Memorial Hall, were Takabayashi's grandparents on his mom's side.